Hey Compote, how's it going? Let me know if you can hear me and all that stuff. Just gonna share the link in Discord. Hey, how's it going everyone? Aces, Crashaholic, Kiki. How'd you all see the link so quickly? Usually I have to post it in a few places before anyone joins. Good morning. Quint, what time is it over there? Oh, notifications. Okay, so somebody in my chat last time said if you make your stream public before you actually live stream, you don't make it private, test it, and then make it public, it will go into notifications. Apparently, every other live stream I've done so far, it hasn't come up in notifications. So yeah, it seemed to finally work, which is nice. It's really nice. Slow day at work, F5 YouTube. What are you doing for work at the moment, Ark David? Hey Namikaze. Hey Hans. Hey Boy Profun. Good, how are you? Hey Quim, how are you going? Tech support. Oh, I see. So you have quite a bit of downtime in between various jobs there and stuff, right? Hey Anis. Alexander. So yeah, we're doing the boss. Last time we were working on boss stuff and we got one of the basic attacks in. Can you close up on the boss? Yes. So this is the boss. Let me show you the boss actually. So that's the boss that we're working with today. So last live stream was basically, let's implement the boss and see how far we get. Hey Mitsu, how's it going? Volley Bear. I'm not sure what Volley Bear is. Yeah, it's not mine, by the way. So if you watch the last live stream, we're using assets from the Infinity Blade pack. So what's great is I can get these in and start getting the gameplay going. The only downside is I'm limited by the animations, but we'll just view that as a creative limitation. Will your game cost money? No, this is just game a month. So game a month is very relaxed. I basically only work on game a month during live streams. I only did a bit of work in between this live stream and the previous live stream. So yeah. What are your thoughts on the Unreal presentation? Oh, I thought it was really great. I loved the mega grant. I think it's really great that the company is taking the money from Fortnite and investing it into developers. That's really great, and it shows where part of Epic's priorities are, which is quite nice. So if you're not aware, they put $100 million into their developer fund. Outside of that, I saw a few things like what was it? I think I saw the Chaos engine. So that's the new destruction, which is quite cool. Outside that, I don't think I've fully watched the stream yet. I saw a bit about Kingdom Hearts 3, which was nice. It was really cool to see some of their behind the scenes development. And apart from that, that's all I kind of saw. Was there anything you really liked from the presentation? I want a piece of that pie. I think everyone does, right? But hey, I think it's the perfect time to apply. In fact, Rubber Ducky, if you go on my Discord, he's one of the developers on there. He recently got, I think he was part of the last group of people who got part of the original grant. So yeah, it's really cool that someone from our community got part of the grant. Hey Iz, how's it going? What do you think about Stadia? I don't know enough about it to make an informed opinion. I just know it exists. I know it's going to be this kind of streaming live service for games. It's kind of where things would probably head in the future anyway. But Like, for example, I'm streaming this whole thing off my mobile phone right now. So, yeah. I personally can't really use anything with Stadia because my internet isn't good enough. But I don't really have any major thoughts on Stadia or anything like that because I just don't know enough about it. Anyway, what we're doing is we're working on a boss. So something I did in between this last live stream and this live stream is I implemented the health bar. So if you can see down the bottom, you've got the health bar for the boss. And there's also a boss name. We've got to come up with a name for this guy because we don't have a name currently. The other thing I did was I added the player health bar at the top left, just a placeholder for now. So if you just see, if you get hit, you get sent flying a bit, and you also lose health. And of course, we've still got the arrows, and the arrows currently damage the boss, and they will actually slow down your movement speed. So that's currently where we're at with the boss. What we're going to be doing is adding some new boss behaviors. And yeah, we're going to go from there and see how it turns out. In terms of boss behaviors, we're limited, as I mentioned, by the animations that come with the boss. So we're limited by 3 attack animations. High hopes for chaos system, we have to cut up stuff. I see. Why is the boss moving in a weird manner? Because we haven't had time to polish it. Alright, so in terms of animations... Oh, let me turn off Discord real quick. There we go. In terms of animations that we have to work with, we have the attack 1, attack 2. I believe this is the attack we're currently using. And then we have this massive kind of attack with both hands. Are there also going to be boss phases? It really depends, like the game, the thing you got to remember, I only started working on this about like last week when I did the first live stream. And I have to put the game up on Friday. So there's about 2 days left of game development on this. So in terms of phases and stuff, probably not, just because like we'll see how we go, but there's literally 2 days of work to do and get all the stuff done in that time. So we'll see what happens. All right. The other animations we have are the throw animation. Someone was mentioning throwing chickens, which is quite funny. Last live stream. In terms of... Sorry, give me one moment. I'm just going to check on something. Hey, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Sorry, I had to check out something real quick. Just disappeared on all of you. Let me know if the mic is back. Alright, so we have this throw animation. What else do we have? And the walk. So if you weren't here for the last live stream, we're basically trying to use these few animations to create a boss battle of some kind. And it's probably not the boss battle you're thinking. If you weren't here for the last live stream, it's not like the Dark Souls epic boss battle where there's multiple phases, right? We're looking at something a bit more like Titan Souls. So have you guys seen Titan Souls? I'll just show you. So we're going for a simpler method of gameplay. So let me show you the trailer. So if you have a look at these boss battles here, like obviously they're a one hit, but if you look here, they kind of have a few randomized style of attacks, and they will perform these attacks, and then the player has to skillfully kind of move in and out and shoot at enemies. So that's the kind of, in terms of scope, like the overall scope, that's what we're going for. So what we need to figure out is what type of behaviors can we make with our character. Lotso slashing bear, commonly known as Ferrosto. That's cool. All right. So what I really wanted to work on today, I got this montage here set up, and I was thinking we could give the bear some cool kind of attack where it combines a ground smash, and it makes pillars of the earth come out of the ground. So kind of like an avatar, where earthbenders can make earth come out of the ground. And let me show you what I mean by that. So if I just go to my blueprints folder, I have these earth bear attack pillars I was just setting up. And I'll show you what that does. So if you have a look, they kind of come out of the ground like that. So I was imagining we could have some cool thing where the enemy will smash the ground, and we could have a series of these kind of chasing and launching at the player, forcing them to move around. So if you have a look, see how they kind of pop out the ground like that? And I was thinking we could make this type of event happen when the bear, if you see here, smashes into the ground. And I actually put a temporary notify here called summon pillars. So when the bear smashes the ground right here, we can make these things pop out of the ground. Hey Chimera, yeah, that's something we can actually modify completely. For now, the whole purpose is to just get it working. In terms of me making them spiky, because of limited time, this is literally from the Soul City pack. So this is what we currently have to work with. If I magically get some free time, I could make my own model, but I don't think it's worth it when I could be polishing things with, say, particles and all that stuff. But for everyone talking about polish right now, the main focus is to actually just get the boss battle working and then polish it, right? So I know it's really I know we all probably want to add in really cool dust effects and everything, but we need to get it working first, especially with the limited time we have. So I've got this attack here. Now, I'm considering two options. Form to function, exactly. So there are two kind of options we can go for. We could make these kind of spikes appear all around the enemy, right? When they smash the ground. So they can, come out of the ground like that and smash up. Or we could actually make them launch kind of one by one and maybe make 10 of them launch and follow the player as they move around. So imagine the player's running around, the bear smashes the ground like that, and they kind of come up as the player's running. And both of them have pro and cons. So when the boss smashes the ground and they come out of the ground up close from the enemy, literally we put heaps of them, it forces the player to kind of run away and get some distance. The benefit of the other method where it actually follows the player is that it causes the player to change how they're playing the game for a moment of time. And I kind of like the idea that rather than the player just kind of trying to dodge and run away all the time like this style of gameplay, there can be a moment of time where they're actually getting chased by all these spikes. And maybe the player could actually get a little particle prompt in front of them when a spike's gonna pop up and they move around and dodge. Both in a sequence. We could actually make it 2 attacks. So we could make the bear when it does this. You know what? Let's try that. That's a great idea. Why not have both, right? Let's try it. So the first sequence is going to be the spikes just coming out of the ground around the bear. We'll try and see how that works. Yeah, the chasing spikes is quite fun as well. I think we could make both work if you guys want to try both. What are you more interested in seeing first, the chasing spikes all these spikes around the bear itself. Let me set up another event for later. I think having more room to move around. Yeah, oh, definitely. This is literally a box with a texture because it's a testing platform, Mr. Pancake. The actual level will be a proper level. This is purely for testing. I have to reiterate, I wish I could put it on the screen somewhere. This is purely for testing right now. We're not polishing, we're not doing any level design. We're just trying to get the mechanics in. Hey, Mads. Yes, we got rid of the bar. I actually did it just before the live stream. I was hoping you'd come on and have a look at it. Chasing. All right, let's do the chasing. So, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. This will be fun. I've never implemented an attack like this before. So I'm trying to kind of visualize how it might look. Hey, Itachi, how's it going? So we have these kind of pop out the grounds, and we can actually make the rotation and location a bit random around the player. So when they launch up, whoops, when they launch up, it's a cool effect. And then we can figure out how to notify the player that they're launching up. A tutorial about a 3D. I don't know what Hackosoft is talking about. All right, summon pillars. So I've set up this notify here previously called summon pillars. And what this will do is when the bear smashes the ground at this timing, maybe I'll do it around here. It's gonna shake the screen and it's gonna make all these pillars appear over time and attack the player. Hey, Benjamin. Yes, I got rid of the search bar. It is so nice. I can't believe that I never bothered to look that up. So thanks to everyone for suggesting I do that. All right, so I've got this pillar here, which is kind of one of the bear attacks. And we've got this cave, this rock here, which is gonna go up. Hey, Just Videos, how's it going? It's gonna go up and be able to attack the player. So we can probably just summon a series of these over time, which would be quite easy to implement. So let's go into, where do I want to be? I want to be in here. I want to go to the anim graph, the event graph. And summon pillars is called when the bear smashes the ground. So I could actually make a, oh, that's a great idea. I just thought of something I could do. I could do a kind of loop with a delay. And if you can't actually just make a loop with a delay, you've got to actually make your own macro. So one moment, UE4 for loop with delay. So this would be very useful. So let me make a for loop really quickly. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to modify it. Haha. See you, Mads. Thanks for dropping by. I'm just going to show what Miles Wilson... actually, I'm just going to remove your post, Miles, because I'm not sure what the image is. Could you tell us what the image is before you post it? All right. Let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna remember the macro thing for the for loop with delay. Hey, it's me again. How's it going? I'm just checking out something on my left monitor if you're wondering why. There's nothing happening right now. I'm just thinking if I do want to do a for loop with delay or not. I'm great. Very good. I completely forgot how to make a macro with a for loop with delay. There's this really cool thing you can do, which is quite nice. Damn when words fail you. What I want from you is a tutorial about making a 3D fighting game like Tekken. Oh, I see. I don't really do tutorials anymore. Well, I haven't done them for a long time. You're probably better off asking somebody else. And I'm personally not very interested in developing something like a Tekken style game right now. So yeah, maybe look into somebody else who does tutorials. Jala, Matt, why you do this to me? I'm at work. Sorry. It's hard to, like, this is a good time for me to stream, right? So yeah, it can be difficult. All right. For some reason, I cannot find this forum post I'm looking for. Oh, I think I found it. Yes. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me just double check. Yes. All right, so we're just gonna make this look like this, but I'm gonna make a new macro, so it'll be really easy. I'm so focused on the boss videos because I'm making a boss in UE4 for my game too. Oh, that's great. What's your game about? It's me again. I'm curious to know what you're developing. Okay, let's go and make our new macro, which is going to be for loop with delay. I'm basically just going to take everything from this. So execute integer. Int and an int. So the reason I want a for loop with delay is just a really easy way for me to spawn something, wait a few seconds, and spawn it again. Actually, this would make things way easier if I just put this on the side and put this on the side. There we go. It's a survival horror game. Ooh, nice. How do you go about building those? Because like, I'm really bad with horror or any kind of horror themes or jump scares or movies, so I wouldn't be able to play test them. I'd be pretty horrible at that. I'm just gonna take this directly from here and pull these over, and then we're done. Once I fix up one more thing. That's an index, and this would be an execute. Perfect. Okay. Now, long live spaghetti. Nice blueprint. Yeah, it can get like that sometimes. Okay, so let me just go in here. I'm gonna add a new one, and it's gonna be called delay, and this is gonna be the amount of time I want to delay this loop for. I really wish they just created a node called for loop with delay, but they haven't done that yet. So we're gonna make our own. I'm gonna move this into here and then cross that into branch. I'm just gonna double click this. The secret is the environment. Yeah, it is. I just wouldn't be able to play test it because I'd be terrified. Which bracket is used on? That's cool. Okay, let's see what we got. Matt, do you know any good things for learning an animation? There's this book you should probably read. It's called the Survivor Kit. I know everyone recommends this. If you do any animation and you're in the chat, you know what I'm about to just bring up. If you're into animation, you should probably look into this book. It's kind of, it explains a lot of the principles of animation and how animation works. And you can apply these to any character or animation you have, and it will really bring it to life. And it's a good thing to study. So I highly recommend you look into that. Andre, I don't think you can use delay. You can. I've used these many times before, and I'm going to show you how it works in a second once I set it up. Loop body. And if it's false, completed. Okay, done, I think. We'll just test it out. All right, let me just double check. Local, this one needs to go into here. Okay, I think we're good. So now if I go back into here, I can do my for loop with delay. And I can say I want it to bring up a new pillar every 2 seconds. We're gonna bring up 6 pillars for now. And we're gonna actually create actor from spawn, create. Spawn actor from class. And the actor we're gonna spawn is the bear earth attack. In terms of the location, for now we're just gonna do something temporary, which will be get player character, and we'll just get location. I'm gonna make this proper after. I just want to test that it actually works. Actually, I'm gonna get the transform. I'm gonna split this up. The reason I'm splitting it up is that I want to keep the whoops, that's not what I want. I want to keep the Z location at the same level of the platform, which is currently something crazy. I'll just keep it at this for now. It doesn't really matter too much for the time being. Okay, so every 2 seconds it should spawn one of these until it spawns 6 all up, and when it's completed we're gonna say finished attack. Now in order to test this, we need to actually call this from the boss itself. So let me just see where the logic is. I think I made a behavior tree. Enemy AI, behavior tree. And yeah, so we've got attack here. And when the attack, it goes into bear states and it plays that montage. So the actual montage I want to play this time is going to be the bear B and C. I should really name these, shouldn't I? Let's see what what that is called. So let's go into here, montage. It's called bear C attack. Okay, I'll name these in a moment. So I'm gonna call bear C attack, and we're actually going to change this. Are you gonna object? No, I'm not gonna object pool because there's like 2 days and not that many of them are gonna spawn, right? It's just not worth it for the time I have, especially because it's on PC. It should be perfectly fine. It's the only, it's not really technically a projectile, but it's the only real thing to worry about in this game. Okay, so we're gonna play this, and after we play this attack, it'll go to walking, which is cool. So let's see what happens. So it smashes with 2, 1. Ooh, that's a long delay, isn't it? It's a whole 2 seconds. So let's change that delay. Where is it? Let's make it 0.4 seconds for now. And you know what? After the attack, I don't want the bear to just run at the player. So I'm going to, oh, I don't want it to attack forever either. I'm going to make a new state called idle, just while we test this. Actually, you know what? I have a better idea. I'm going to make the boss really slow, just so we can outrun it and test it. So I'm going to make the walk speed something like 100. All right. Let's hit play. It's really slow. It attacks the ground. 1. Ooh, why did it only bring up 1? That's interesting. Let Let me just test this again. Let me pause this and let's see how many it spawned. Eject. Oh, interesting. It only spawned one. Let's figure out why. Random question. Oh. How did you learn to make games? Oh gosh, that's a big question. Let me get back to that real quick. Are you doing this as a job? This project is literally a hobby project I do every month. It's called Game a Month, and I just create a really small game in a month. It's not to be sold, it's nothing professional, it's just for me to learn various things about the engine and have some fun. And now I'm doing live stream so I can talk to all of you. In terms of my own job, I work as a lead Unreal Engine 4 developer. Random question, I haven't played Titanfall. When your character wall one runs, is it straight like in your tutorial? I haven't played Titanfall for a while. Also, that tutorial is so old. I wouldn't like there's some cool stuff in it, but you can do much better. Like I don't want to remake it, but it could be made so much better. Hey JC, how's it going? All right, so now what we're gonna do is figure out why we only attacked once, which is gonna be interesting. So we have a 0 first index. We will not be able to play this game. No, you will be able to play the game. It's gonna be on itch.io. If you're unfamiliar with my game a month, just check this out. Here. So I've been doing game a month. And if you see here, Skeleton Dash was my first Game a Month game. And, you know, you can check it out here and play it. My second Game a Month game was called Blade Construct. And you can play it here as well. So all my Game a Months are completely free and you can play them. What happened to the VR game? Nothing. I'm still making it. It's interesting. Some projects take a long time to make. And projects go through a lot of changes, so it might take weeks for a video to come out on the VR game, right? But if I don't put a video out, say every few weeks, people think the project is dead, and it's really strange. Are you South African? No, I am half Asian, half European, Australian. Where do you get your assets? This is all, so for Game a Month, I'm using Asset Store stuff. And this specifically is from Soul Cave for Game a Month. Oh, are you talking about the stealth game, Josh? You're not talking about the third-person VR game. You're talking about the stealth game, right? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so what we need to figure out is why the hell is only one attack coming out of the ground? So I want to see how many times this runs. So let's do a print string. So what should be happening is it should say hello multiple times. Okay, it's only doing it once. That's interesting. Let's figure out why it's only doing that once. It might be the way I did the for loop with delay, so let's just check it out real quick. I'm just gonna quickly debug this. Oh, not debug, I'm just gonna compare it to the reference that I have up on the other screen. So, sorry. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't assign these. How silly. Oh, okay, it's gonna work now. That was really dumb. Okay, let's try it out. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That is so cool. Let's see it again. So I made the bear really slow on purpose just to test this mechanic out. Oh, that's cool. I like this a lot. And then we'll make them kind of disappear after a certain amount of time. Nice. Really happy with that. That was actually a lot easier than I thought because of the for loop with delay. We can, yeah, we'll get rid of those afterwards. Let me just see what's happening in the chat. Can we get the UE projects? I can't give these out. The major reason being you cannot actually, I said this in the last live stream, I'll just really quickly say it. You can't upload these files because they contain marketplace assets and you can't redistribute those. They all belong to Epic Games, and they can only be used with Epic products. So I can't actually just put this project on, say, the Google Drive or GitHub and share it. Josh, actually, the game is still being made. It's just being made under a company that I'm working with. And I can't fully disclose many details about it. But that game is still being made. It's just changed. And I can't really share it on my YouTube very much because it's of the company I'm working with on that game. How long did it take you to transition from Unity to V4? I literally... Here's my story about Unreal. I woke up and I went, you know what? I'm sick of Unity. No particular reason, by the way. I was just like, I feel like something new. Because when you use something for 5 years, you want to try something new, right? So I'm like, I'm going to try a new engine. And I typed in Unreal Engine 4. Actually, let me see what happens when you do that nowadays. Unreal Engine 4. I typed in Unreal Engine 4. And this amazing trailer popped up. They probably don't have it anymore. See Cloud Strife. This is a different trailer, but basically I saw a trailer with Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. And that's one of my favorite childhood games. I've finished that game a ridiculous amount of times. And when I saw all these amazing videos and I saw some of my favorite childhood games being remade and I saw Kingdom Hearts and all that, I thought, I've got to try the engine out. And that's kind of it. Like, I just hit the ground running. Yeah, so it was really fun to transition. What is your favorite game? I can't pick a favorite. I like a lot of games. So what I want to do now is with this behavior that I've set up, I want to go back and I want to change this to the original attack, which is kind of like a swipe. And in fact, we should probably name these. So let's call this montage_bear swipe attack. And we're going to call this one, let me just save. We're going to call this one montage underscore. This will be the pillar chase player attack. I don't have a fancy name for it right now. Maybe you can come up with a better name. Yeah, I like the music too, Benjamin. Let's see. Hey Lariz, don't say Unity sucks. Unity is a great engine. I used it for over 5 years. I developed some cool games. It does amazing stuff. Like, you can't say Unity sucks. Go have a look at Ori and the Blind Forest and all that. Like, beautiful games. I think it's silly to say an engine sucks. Gosh, so many questions. What engines have I used? A lot. I started with GameMaker, and then I moved to Flash with ActionScript. And then I used something called, I think it was Cube 3D or something like that. It was a 3D engine. And then I tried modding a bunch of games like Warcraft 3. I messed around with Source Engine. And then I found Unity and then Unreal. So I've messed around with quite a few engines. Oh, and I've, done Java programming and tried to make my own 3D graphics engine and stuff like that in the past. Yeah, Unreal does take a lot of space. You need a pretty decent machine to run it, unfortunately. I mean, that's just part of the engine, right? So what we want to do now is when the player attacks us, when the enemy attacks us, English. When the enemy attacks us, we don't want it to just always do the same attack. We want to mix it up, right? So we need to change the movement speed back. I wish I could give it a charge attack. I just don't have the animation for it. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, Davey, if you see these animations here, this is what I'm limited to. So we've got the swipe and smash attack. And what we want to do is we want the enemy to perform that ground attack where the spikes chase us. And we want it to do it kind of a bit randomly. So in order to do that behavior, let's have a think about how we can use this behavior tree. I'm just gonna get some water. Hey Kif, how's it going? Took a look at Boneworks. Yeah, it's very cool, Benjamin, isn't it? Very cool. Everything is Windows only. The reason why is because, as you can see, I have a Windows machine. That's why it's Windows only. All right. So we've got attack player. I think we can modify this. I don't know why I have this thing happening here. Let me change that. We can actually modify this in order to perform multiple attacks. The way I want to think about this is, I'm not sure if I want to give the bear a chance to do a smash attack, or if I want the bear to do it every X amount of seconds. So I'm just having a think about how I want this to work. And flying. Let's just try something. Let's not overthink it. So we're gonna cast to the bear, and I'm thinking we might use something like a gate open. No, we could use the switch statement with an enum. We've already got an enum set up. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Let me see what I got in bear states. Maybe you can retarget crunch dash. Crunch dash? What's that? Is that one of the animations on here? Maybe I did that wrong. Dash. Enum. So look at enemy states. Is this a hack and slash? No, it's not. It's a bow and arrow game, as you can see. It's a prototype. How much time you got left? I literally have like 2 days to get this done. That's why I'm not overly worried about polishing it too much. And the major thing with this project is it's purely for fun. I'm not trying to make something like groundbreaking here. That's what my serious work with a company that I'm working with is for. This is just for fun and to learn different things about the engine and try stuff out. So yeah. All right, so we've got the brain. And when the enemy gets close enough, we call attack. And here would be a good place to actually say, hey, let's do potentially a few different types of attacks. How do I want to manage this though, is what I'm trying to think about. We can do a random integer in range and give it a chance. Or we can do it by time. I'm just trying to think. There is one other behavior we could do actually, now that I think of it. I have a distance check. Maybe if the player, or no. I might just make it part of the bear brain to do this type of attack while it's walking around. So if the distance is greater than 700, I might do something with a countdown. So, see ya aces, have a good one. Does UE4 handle multiplayer itself properly, or do you still have to set up? Chimera, from my understanding, every engine you have to set up some form of servers. You have to get something like Amazon servers, or a Unity plugin like Photon, I believe it's called. I don't think any engine out of the box, well, I'm not sure, but from what I've seen, you have to purchase some type of servers, right? Do you compete in game jams? Yeah, I've competed in many game jams. I used to host game jams in Sydney, actually. I've competed in over 16 game jams in person, and I've done, geez, over 10 easily online. Okay, let's get this set up. At the moment, I'm really trying to think how I want to go about when the bear should do this pillar chase attack. So I'm just going to play around with it and think. Hey Paul, how's it going? You didn't miss too much. We're setting up this cool pillar attack. I'm just thinking, when do I want the bear to actually perform this attack, like logically? And then I'll set up logic for the attack and making it kind of disappear and all that stuff. Is this extension from the first? So this is game a month. So every month I make a different game of a different size and scale and different mechanics, and they all change. Yes, Paul. So this is a basic implementation now. So this is kind of one of the attacks that the AI can do, where you gotta dodge the pillars or else they'll damage you and send you into the air, which would be quite fun. But we only just started setting it up. So one of my dilemmas right now is I don't know when I want the bear to perform this attack. I'm thinking I want the bear to perform this when the player is... I kind of want it to perform this at any time, whether the player is near or far away, but I want it to be a bit random, right? I don't want it to just... like between a certain amount of seconds, I'm thinking... Mr. Pancake, make it so the player can dodge roll. Yeah, for sure. As I mentioned earlier when you wrote that comment, polish comes later. We're just trying to set up the basic systems. So you can't get impatient with this stuff. You got to make sure everything's concrete before you even do anything. You can make a target on the floor where the rock comes from. Yes, that's what we're going to put in, Miles. That's exactly what we want to do. Right now, I just want to make it so the bear actually performs this behavior. And I think I'm going to put it in here for now. So I'm going to make it that every so often it will just perform this attack, and then we'll mess around with the exact timing of when this attack will happen. So it's going to be a bit random. I'm just thinking how I want to handle the randomness. So we can do, for example, a random float in range. And you could do something like it has to wait 6 seconds, and then it has to, anywhere from 6 seconds to say 10 seconds, it'll do this. And then you could feed this into, say, a delay, and then you could say play montage, and then I could get the actual bear itself, which is I could get the owner and play it, which would be quite good. What behavior you're implementing? Oh, just what I was showing off before. Agent Arcanid. There's also VR chat, which is more of a platform that uses Unity, but with built-in networking. Oh, that's cool. So I'm gonna get the owner. Actually, can I just try get owner? Nope, so I'll use it from here. So let me cast to, actually, let me make this a variable. And this is gonna be bear reference. Actually, no, that's not gonna be bear reference. This will be cast to, and then we're going to cast to our boss bear. So the reason I'm doing it up here is because this ticks every frame, and we don't want to do a cast to every frame. We just want to kind of set up the variables and declare them. So I'm going to promote this to a variable, and I'm just going to call this boss bear reference. Oh, you're welcome, Vince. We did a lot more of the AI last stream. Like, we actually set up the entire behavior tree. So if you want to check that out, we set this entire thing up, and it's not overly complicated, this kind of enemy, but yeah. Silvers. Whoa, did you donate $2? I'm not super knowledgeable about this, but wow, thank you. That's crazy. Any experience with Souls-like game? Experience with a Souls-like game? I haven't really dived into that. You know what? That'd be quite fun for... I said I was going to make a less complicated game next month, but that'd be quite fun for next month, right? If we make a Souls-like game, that'd be pretty cool. I don't have a lot of experience with that, but I can figure out how I would make one in terms of the combat system. I think the level design of the Souls games is the most interesting aspect to me, because I really like level design. But yeah, in terms of the overall creation of the Souls game series, I've never attempted to do something like that. I would recommend studying the game, playing it, taking notes, figuring out the combat. Try and break the combat. Don't just play the game the way you think the designers intended you to play it. Actually get in there, run around, and test the AI, stretch it, try and break it. Do things you think that might modify the behaviors of the AI. See how they pathfind in different situations and how they attack. Test the level design out. I really like the Souls games. They're well-made games. Okay, so let's get on with this. I just realized something. I'm going to maybe do an event. So, yes, perfect. Okay. This is what I want. So we're going to do an event. I'm going to make a custom event. And this will be called Bear Special Attack. So this is a place where I'm going to randomly call Bear Special Attacks for now. And we're going to call this, let's see, I made this earlier. Let me Control V, there we go. I'm just going to call this between every 10 to 20 seconds just to test it out. We're going to loop it. And let's see. We're going to get the bear reference. Haha, Paul. I've got 2 days. Look, Paul. I've got 2 days to get this done. Please. Let me use magic numbers. Hold on. There we go. Please, Paul. Alright. Are you freelance? No. I'm a lead Unreal Engine 4 developer for a company in Sydney. And we're working on a stealth action VR game, which is very cool. But I can't talk much about it. Okay. What was I doing? I completely forget what I was thinking. I was going to play a montage, so I was going to get an instance, right? So I should actually grab this reference way back here. Let me set all this up. Can I just play montage from this? Do I have to? Ooh. That's cool. So I don't have to cast. All right, let's try this out. Bear. Okay, there we go. Whoops. Pillar chase attack. Okay, so if everything works, let me close some of these pillars before Unreal crashes. Get rid of that one. I'll just close that for now. Okay, let's see what happens. So every 10 seconds, it should, 10 to 20 seconds, that's a long time. For testing purposes, we'll make it 4 to 8. Okay. Nice. That's cool. It actually worked. Boom. Whoa. Oh, that feels really cool. I'm so happy it works. Whoa. I didn't even program that in yet to get it tacked up. That's nice. The game dev project. Hey Matt, I figured out how to avoid long wires. Yeah, you can also just make it a function as well and call it, but I don't mind the wire right now. But yeah, it's cool that you went out and seeked out that knowledge. Okay. Call bear special attack. So what we can do is set this to something a bit more realistic. We'll make it something like 8 to 14 just for now. And can we have the bear smash the rocks? Yes, we can do apex destruction, which I probably forgot to enable before the stream. Oh, I enabled it. Perfect. So yeah, we can have the bear smash them. We're probably going to also make them just destroy themselves after a small amount of time. So yeah. Matt, in your line of work, do you usually use blueprints? I think it depends on the development studio and how you work with different technology. Currently, where I'm working, I am pretty proficient in what we're doing in VR. So you got to remember, my main thing is VR. Game a month is the only time I work on these types of these types of Unreal games. So yeah, in terms of what we're using, I'm quite fast with blueprints, and we're developing the game at a very good pace. So we're quite happy with blueprints. In terms of using C++, I have no problem with like diving in and learning anything we need to learn. It's just that I personally haven't run into a situation where I've needed to use C++ for anything, and that's kind of why I'm not currently using it. But if we do a situation one day, I'll definitely, use C++ to overcome that problem. But at the moment, we're using blueprints, which is really great. Hey, Fishy. Damn, was watching a show, so I'm late. Better late than never. Oh, it's okay. We're actually going to be doing this for a while longer. So don't worry. I want to get some cool stuff in tonight. Okay, so I was just reading what someone wrote. Have the rocks stick back into the ground when they expire. So that's a cool idea. It should trigger its, there we go. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't trigger its attack. Let's figure out why. This is the kind of stuff we got to test for. So it's doing that. It should do its special attack. Oh, I keep on interrupting its special attack. There. There we go. Okay. Oh, I forgot that I increased the timer. I was wondering why it felt like it was taking so long. I might just minimize this for now to 5 and 8. 6 and 8, 5 and 8, something like that for now. Your company wouldn't be looking for VFX artists. Not currently, no. Not currently, no. But I'm sure there's a lot of companies out there looking for a VFX artist. We might actually just do that for now, where we'll make the rocks sink back in to their original location. So this is the rock blueprint, and all I'm doing is I've got a timeline which goes from 0 seconds to 2 and value of 1, and then it just sets its location to the end location, which is up here, and it moves up according to set world location. So if you have a look, boom, it moves up. So we can easily make it move back down. So let me just do this real quick. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to store the original location. So I'm just going to get the world location, and I'm going to promote this to a variable, which is going to be called the, let's give this a name, an actual name. Let's call this the Earth Pillar. I'm not sure. We'll call it Earth Pillar. And we'll call this Earth Pillar Origin. And what we'll do is we'll go from Earth Pillar Origin to end location. So simulate. And then from there, we're going to reverse it. So we're going to make it go back down. You're using C++ Blueprint? Yeah, of course, but the actual question wasn't really about that, Hackosoft. Like, everything I'm using here is like from C++. But the question was, do I directly use it myself for my work and for what I get paid to do professionally? And the answer is no. Maybe use the Bear's Rock attack against itself. Yeah, that could be cool, right? We can actually make it so the rocks will go back down, but after a set amount of time. And if they don't go back down within a set amount of time, maybe the bear could like walk up to them and smash them or whatever. These are all these really exciting features, but it's like, do we have the time? That's the only concern. So let's keep going. The game dev project. Wow, I never realized there was a simulate button. Yeah, it's really cool, isn't it? It allows you to test things quite rapidly. I'm just going to modify this to 1 second. Okay, cool. That's good enough for now. So what we'll do is we'll do something quite simple where we'll have a delay. Actually, no. Let me just think really quickly. So event begin play, store earth pillar location. Then we'll call this, and then we want to call another event after a set amount of time. So, okay, actually, yeah, we can just do this. We'll call the do once node, then we'll call a delay, and then we'll loop back into reverse, which will make it go back down again. And I'm just going to make the delay 2 seconds for now just to test. And then we'll make this less spaghetti in a moment. So I'll just do this for now. There we go. Easy. So let's just see how that looks in game. Whoops, fell off. All right, let's test that again. Okay, so we're gonna obviously make that delay higher, but it works. And I want to make this a bit snappier, so a bit more. I didn't even know that's a word, but I just said make it snap more, which we'll do in a moment. For now, let's make this duration maybe 5 seconds for now. Or we can make a bit of variation, which would be quite cool. So we could make it so it goes, so they go down at different speeds, or different times, I should say. So let's make a let's make this vary a bit. Custom event. Let's see, reverse earth pillar. To fix up this kind of spaghetti we have going on here, we're just going to do this. So I made a custom event, and we're going to plug it in over here. Get rid of this. And I'm going to call this custom event when it's finished. Reverse earth pillar. There we go. That's much nicer. And let me just straighten. And I'm going to make this random float from stream. Is that what all these other engines use, like Kingdom Hearts and Unity? Somebody touched my spaghetti. Oh dear. Oops. Random. Hey Matt, is a function timer a good replacement for fixed update? I guess it would depend on your situation. I can't really give an absolute statement on that because there might be a time where you should and there might be a time you shouldn't. That's the thing with pretty much everything in programming and development. There's a time where you can use something and there's a time you shouldn't use something. And that's up to you to decide upon, right? So I'm going to make it reverse maybe between 3.5 or just maybe like 3 seconds and 6. So it's a bit random. And let me just see what we got. I'm going to make that more. Let's go 0.3. I wish I could bind these values together. It'd be so nice. Boom. Okay, let's test that out. Whoa, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Whoa. That's me playing. That's cool. Nice. That's really cool. Okay. So, I like that. Let me see that again. Now what we're going to do is have some type of visual indicator that, hey, these spikes are coming out of the ground, and give the player some time to kind of dodge and run out the way. And we're going to make it so some of them might appear in front of the player, right? So the player will have to kind of move left and right, not just continuously run backwards. So let's get that going. Are you going to publish this game? Yeah, I publish all my gamer months on itch.io. So when I say gamer month, usually they get created towards the end of the month because it's just how it's been. I'm going to try to fix that next month. I said that last month, but we'll see. So I started working on this sometime last week, and I have till Thursday or Friday morning to publish it. So yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. Which is why I can't spend too much time polishing each individual feature. But we'll see how we go. Now that we have that behavior in, we actually have the basis of a basic fight now, which is cool. They've got health, I got health. Smash attack doesn't damage me though at the moment, which is something we gotta kind of implement. So let's implement damage when the player hits us. I mean, KH, Matt, why don't you use C++? Because I really like the visual scripting language of Blueprints. For me, it makes a lot of sense. I come from a programming background, and I just love how the node-based editor works. And there is nothing I have tried to make that I haven't been able to make with Blueprints. So I'm going to keep using it. And I hope they keep improving it, right? So that's kind of why I don't use it. I prefer using Blueprints. It's just a personal preference. Please, Paul, I forgot about that. I'm going to forget why this is here sometime. Okay, so let's get the damage in when these pillars hit the player. What would happen if you had multiple bears? Oh, you mean like this? You'd probably get destroyed. Hello. That's what happens when you have multiple bears. You have two threats to deal with. Oh dear. Yeah. You get destroyed, that's what happens. Is this your main job? Samsung, do you mean is developing games my main job? Or what I'm doing now? Because these live streams are not my main job, they're just something I do for fun. Can you add a knockdown attack when hit by the bear? Smash attack. Not right now, just because of time, but that's a pretty cool idea. Do you have a military background? No, I do not. I completely forget what I was about to implement. That's right, these. So we need these to actually damage the player, and that's quite easy for us to do. I made a custom event on the player, so let's have a look at that. Hi Matt, how do you think these gamer months will / have changed your VR game? So Ed, in terms of changed, they don't really change my VR game fundamentally in terms of design or anything. I just learned lots of new things about the engine. So if anything, these gamer months, they really broaden my skill range, and I basically acquire a bunch of new skills from doing this. I mean, I already acquire a bunch of skills from doing my VR game, but by making this, I learned so many new things that I didn't know before. So yeah, it just really benefits me overall. If you want to think about it like this, it's kind of like an artist who will do drawings throughout the month, and that improves their drawing skill. Making these games a month just improves my skill with Unreal Engine, which is very cool, and other processes within game development. So like some game design stuff and whatever. So it's nice. It's nice. So, where was I? I want to go to the player. So on the player, I have a event set up called damage player, and we can call this from the earth attack. So damage player, whoops, can't just call damage player. I need to actually get a player reference. So we can get the player character. We can cast to, and just cast to third person, and then we can call something like player damage. Now, let me just think. We want this to happen when we hit the player. So let's see what we have. What I want to check out is the collision. So, okay, it's just using convex collision, which is perfectly fine for now. So let's go back and make this damage and all that, do all that stuff to the player, which would be quite fun. Game on Steam. My VR stealth game will be on Steam and another project, but not these. These are just game a month. Have you ever thought about trying to get funding from your following too? No, I'm not. I have thought about that and I've tried to implement it, but I figured out that I'm not very interested in crowdfunding. I like to build businesses, which is what I'm doing right now. When I'm like, that's the stuff that you guys don't all see. Like, you kind of see me on YouTube making some games here and there, but I'm actually trying to build businesses and that's what my kind of passion, mixing my love of game development and trying to make a business is what's most exciting to me. So yeah, I will probably never try to really use my following to fund anything. I will just try and make really great games and build this business that I'm working on and see how it goes out, how it all works out. So yeah, that's my answer to that question. Okay, now where were we? We don't actually need to do that. We can go to the earth pillar and we're going to do a on component hit event and other actor. There we go. And let's print and make sure this is working. So we're going to call this damage player. And because these pillars kind of spawn once and they never work again, I'm just going to call do once, just so we don't accidentally overlap with the player more than once, because we don't want anything like that. Are you not going to use the built-in? No, I wrote my own. It just has some cool stuff for launching the character, and I can add my own things in here. That's why I'm not using the built-in one, Paul. Okay, get location, check that in there. And the spikes, I'm thinking about the damage. Let's see. I'm just going to do 10 for now, just to test it out. Okay, that should be good. Let's see how it works. It did damage the player, but you kind of just sit on top of them. That was interesting. I'm gonna make the bear really slow again, if you're wondering why the bear's slow. And I'm just gonna test out how this works. So let me just see it in action. Huh. Oh, it did damage the player. Okay. But it didn't really launch them that much. So there's something else I want to add into here, which is this variable here. So let me just change a few things. I'll call this launch amount, make it a float. I set it to 2 for the bear, so let me just go fix that up real quick. Okay, I'm just gonna make, this is for the, yeah, this is where I want it, so 2. Let me just double check that that's still working. Yep, cool. And then for the pillar, this is something we've got to play around with, but let's just try a value of, I don't know, 6 for now. George, I have to go. Good luck finishing your project. Thank you. Thanks for checking it out. Okay, let's see what happens when the bear does its attack. Okay, I think I have to enable, let me just double check. And let's see again. If you're wondering why the bear's walking slow, I just made it walk really slow so I can test out its attack. Huh. Okay, that worked when I'm moving, which is what we don't want. So what I'll do is, it seems that the on component hit event is not working. Let me get rid of this and see something actually. I might do like a sphere trace or something. Or I have one more idea before I do that. Oh, I think I know what's wrong. Hold on. Yeah. Where do you get the Zelda mix? I think it's called Zelda Chill, or Zelda and Chill. So if you go on YouTube, you can just type in Zelda and Chill and it'll come up. Hey, I'm glad you're here too. We're just testing some mechanics if you're wondering why the bear's like super slow. Okay, I'm just gonna use a sphere trace. So let's do that. That's annoying there. I wonder why when it's moving. Like, I get why. But with sweep, it should still detect the player when it hits it. Let me just double... I'll do that for now. It's a block all dynamic, it's a world dynamic object, and it's blocking the pawn. So it should hit the pawn and call the event, which is very... I don't understand why it wouldn't call the event. It seems when I'm moving, I'll show you what I mean. So when I move around, and I hit one of the spikes that will launch in a second. Oh, whoops. When I move around and I hit one of the spikes, it works. But if I stand directly on top, it won't actually launch the character. There we go. Which is weird. It's very weird. I also noticed one other problem just then. Put that back. The spikes aren't moving the way they were before because of sweep. There we go. What if you rotated the spikes and the player flying in directions so they may fall off the platform? Yeah, we can get into all that. I'm just trying to get the actual logic to work because it's making the player go up, but it's not actually damaging them for some reason. Which is very strange. And I can understand why, because I'm just moving the transform, so technically the collision isn't fully occurring, which is why I tried to use the sweep. Okay, it's not really too much of a problem. I can use another method. You have deactivated generate hit events. Yeah, I just deactivated it, Paul, because it wasn't making a difference. But I'll enable it again and see what happens. I was gonna use a sphere trace while it comes up to fix it. See, it only works when you're moving, so I was just gonna use a sphere trace by channel when the object is coming out of the ground, which should work perfectly fine. And then I can break this. So I'm going to just put that over there for now. We're going to cast. Actually, I probably don't need to cast anymore. If you had sweep disable moving the pillar, that's why. I did have sweep enabled, and it didn't work. And I actually don't want sweep enabled because I don't like the effect it gives off. So I'm just going to try it a different way because I don't like the visual effect that was happening when I had the sweep. So I'm just going to test this out really quickly and then make it work properly after. So let's get the hit actor. And yeah, that should work. Now, I'm just going to call it while the pillar's moving, which is, you know, not the most optimized way, but it will work for now. And I just want to see, I want to see these spheres come up. Oh, okay, I know what's wrong with the spheres. They're, they need to be at the top of the pillar of the Z, so I need to increase that. Actually, let me just see. Box trace. Oh, I can box trace. Nice. See a cringy cookie. I could do a box trace. How do I want to do this? What other options do I have? Oops, trace by channel. I have capsule. Let's try capsule for now. Put that over there. Start and end. Oh, okay. There we go. Get actor location. Oops. Get world location because it's not an actor. I wonder how this. I haven't really used this one much before. I'm just gonna set these both to 100 just to see the debug and see how it looks, and then we can modify it from there. Come on. Okay. I can't actually see the let me pause this. Oh, they're under the ground, that's why. Eject. It's because they're in the root of the object. I need to be at the top of the object. So I'm just gonna do something really simple for now, which is visual, because it makes my life easier. I'm just gonna make this the location. There we go. Cool. There they are. Okay. We'll make this better after. I just wanted to get it actually working. So now we need to, let's have a look. We need to hit the player. And damage the player. So let's see. I'm actually going to minimize the time the bear takes to do the attack as well, It's taken quite a while. And that's in the bear brain, and it's over here. So I'm just going to set this to 2 and 3 for now, just to test. Weird. It's not actually oh, hold on. Is this stream going to be posted later today? Yes, it is. Oh, the trace channel's visibility. That's probably why. I've set that to ignore, so I'm just going to set it to camera. And that should fix everything. Yep. Cool. And now we can play around with this. Perfect. Now we can actually make this work better. It's gonna be a custom event. And I'm just gonna call this the Earth pillar. I'm not sure what to call this actually. This is kind of just a damage collision check. I don't know what to call this. We'll just call it that for now. It's perfectly fine. And I'm just going to call this here for the time being. And we're just going to call it, let's think. We're only going to do this once for now. And let's test it out. Oh, we also want to change the launch amount. Let's make this 10. Is Let's Create series over? That series ended quite a while ago. I've got something interesting. Cool, we need to make that way more. I've got something interesting coming up kind of around Let's Create, but I don't really want to talk about it too much right now. Okay, so I want to give the option to add more launch velocity in Z. Actually, let's just see what happens when we increase this value quite a bit. Let's make it 60. Whoa, that's nowhere near enough. We need this to be way higher. Yeah, let's do 400. I'm just gonna keep playing around this value until it does 4,000. Okay, I know what's up. So the reason why this value isn't really doing anything is because the location of the enemy is kind of below the location where we're getting knocked back from is below the player. So if you have a look, when these pillars spawn, they spawn underneath the player. And that means when I do this bit of math here, if you check out here, when I get the location of the player minus the enemy location, the enemy location is directly under the player, so it's not really going to launch me very far because I'm overriding the Z for something else, which we could play around with. So I'm going to do this. Z launch override. And I'm just going to call that directly in here. Do I want to call them there? Yes. And I'm going to set this to 400 for the bear because that was the amount that I had. And for the pillar, I'm just going to make this something like maybe 1,200 and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I got sent further up. Whoa, I got sent flying. Okay, so I got sent further up. Boom. Nice. Whoa, I keep getting launched up. Alright, let's just change one thing. So we're going to change the speed of this, just for now, to 0.6, just so we can outrun it in this current test. I don't have a way to visualize and delay it before it comes up right now, just because we don't have the time, but oh. Still too quick. Oh, I know what's wrong. It's not the speed of them. It's the size of the actual capsule itself. It's not true to the collision of the object. Actually, you can see it right here. See how big the capsule collider is here? So I need to make it much smaller. So let's go into here and mess around with the values. Let's try 40 by 40. I need to wait for this to... That looks a bit better. I still want to make it a bit smaller. Hey Noki, is this a full project you're working on? This is, once again, I'm pretty sure it says it in the video title. This is just for the game a month. So that's what I'm doing this for. Okay, let's try that out. What do you think about Mesh Collider in Unity and UE4? Whoa, hold on. Now the launch value is heaps. Okay, let's outrun it. Perfect, okay, I can outrun it now. Okay. Now that that's all working, we can fine tune everything, which is great. So I'm gonna make it so it's not actually calling it so frequently. And how we're gonna go about that is we're gonna use that function we used earlier, which is called, I think it's called event by timer. So we're just gonna go here, event by timer. And we're just gonna call this every few seconds, like every 0. whatever. Let's call it every 0.2. And then when we reverse the earth pillar, we will stop this event here from happening. And then we'll actually get rid of the pillar itself. So we need to make this a handle. Hey Alex, how's it going? We probably could poll, but I've already worked on this solution and I want to move on to the next thing. So I'm just going to keep it like this for now. Think of the game a month like a game jam. Sometimes you just come up with a solution, you implement it, and you move on to the next thing, right? And the next thing I want to do is the bear death kind of event, which would be really cool. So what I'm going to do now is call this the collision handle. And we're just going to invalidate this. And what this means is it will stop checking for the collision when it goes back down. And then once we've got that working properly, we can mess around with these values over here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so it's much like there are way fewer collisions happening now, and I still get launched. So now that we've got that working, let's change the set override because that was crazy. Let's just make it 400. Okay. And now that we know that that's working, we can go back to our bear and fix up all that bear stuff. So let's set the movement speed to say 450 for now. And let's go back to the bear brain and make this something like 6 and 10 just for testing. 6 and 10, perfect. That's cool. Whoa. Oh no. And I'm dead. Nice. That's very cool. Okay. So the actual battle arena will have walls. So you won't go flying off. But this value here, I'll tweak myself off stream and I'll make it kind of perfect. But for now, I'm really happy with how that kind of turned out. So we got that second attack ability in. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, we've been on stream for about 1 hour and 30 minutes. I still want to do some other cool stuff. So we can add more attacks, but I want to get out of this kind of heavy blueprint stuff and do something a bit more visually exciting. Do you guys want to join me in making a bit of the map for the game? Because I know some of you are interested in kind of how the levels are put together in Unreal and in 3D. So let me know what you want to see. Let me get a maps. I might actually duplicate this map and then begin building it off this. So game level, and I'll duplicate it and set it up. Map underscore game. We already have a game level map. Let me just change this to mechanics test. Awesome. Let's do some level building. In terms of the other mechanics, I'm going to implement them off stream. There's not that many more I want to add. I of course want to add in the enemy death. I also want to add in the player death and main menu and stuff, but let's do something a bit different. All right, so let's see what we can do in 20 something minutes. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this platform. Now, originally, I designed this kind of game to be a multiplayer game, believe it or not. And that's why I made this arena you see here. We're gonna fight in this arena, but it doesn't really suit for this style of game that we have now. So we're going to rip a lot of this out and change it. In terms of the assets that I'm currently working with, I only have access to this soul cave. So I'm not sure if it has everything that I kind of need to make a level. We'll kind of see how that goes. So I'm not even sure what type of ground it has. It's got this. It's got this. We have a floor, which is really small for some reason. And Shade is compiling. Give it a second. So we don't really have much to work with in terms of that. Ooh, we're very limited. This should be interesting. Let me see what merge stuff they have. So they got these, whoa, they're massive rocks. Okay. We're actually quite limited by this pack. I didn't realize. I should have got the Infinity Blade levels. Oh, you know what? Why am I saying I should have? We can just do this. You're gonna now see all my billion assets. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the Infinity Blade grasslands And we're going to add it to the project, which is called PvP Multiplayer. I've already downloaded these before, so it should just add it to the project. Noki Poki Art, love to see that. By the way, I'm making a new level completely or just a new area? Yeah, so I'm going to make an entire new level for this. Jeff, lighting and level building for sure. I would love to see how you make stuff look. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Unreal's really great for making things look good. It has so many great features that we'll dive into. So now we have this package, and let me see what we have. So we've got mist, we've got earth. Oh, that's nice. So we've got some cool foliage stuff. Now keep in mind, a lot of this will have to compile. Landon, question avoided. Landon, what was your question? I don't see it. Oh, what are your PC specs? I have a 1060 GTX with a 6 gigabytes. I have a Ryzen CPU, I forget the model. I currently have 16 gigabytes of RAM, but for work purposes, we're probably going to expand it to 32 gigs of RAM. I have my power supply, which is currently 750 watts, but I probably don't need it to be that high. And I have some water cooling thingy. My friend helped me with the setup, and I put it all together. Yeah, they're the general specs. I made my computer about, it feels like over a year ago. It's no brand, I built it myself. So I put it all together myself. I just bought a bunch of parts and built it. Okay, so let's get into making this map. In terms of actually getting the shaders to compile, let me go to the overview and see what we have to work with. I'm really hoping it won't crash, so let's see. It's probably going to take a few minutes. Do you guys want to ask me some questions? Whoa, there we go. Feel free to ask me some questions while it... Hey Nitrogen, I'm great. We're going to do a bit of level design and development now. Probably just block it out, and next stream we'll make it look even better, because I've already been on for about an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, how are you going, Nitrogen? Those assets compile decently quick. Oh, I see. That's why you're asking. Maybe there can be leaves falling from the tree. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. What do you think about side-scroller games? I think they're great. I grew up in the age of 3D platformers, but my brother had an Amiga and a Sega Master System and all that stuff. So, yeah, I played a lot of side-scroller games growing up, like the old Sonic games. And I played so many games you probably haven't heard of, like Zool and Ghost and Goblins. Gosh, I can't even remember some of the names, but I've played a lot of platform games growing up, like side scrollers. I think they're good. I really like Ori and the Blind Forest. I think that's amazing what they did there. And you know, Cuphead's quite fun. Hey Jose. Thanks for checking out the live stream. I do not have a favorite game, Alex. There's just too many games. Have you ever made for mobile VR? Yeah, I made I taught a class on mobile VR with Unity, and it was pretty fun. In terms of Oculus Quest, I can't announce too much, but the company I'm working with are planning an Oculus Quest game in the future. So, yeah, I think Oculus Quest is going to be amazing. I think it's going to be, well, this is what I believe anyway. I believe the Oculus Quest is going to be a mainstream VR kind of console for people. And I think it's going to bring a lot of new people into VR, which is what I'm really excited about. Okay, the asset's loaded. We actually have some ground to work with, which is nice. Hey Dan, thank you. How are you going? Hey, where is this? I'm going great, thank you. What do you charge per hour? That's quite personal. But in general, you should figure out what value you bring, and figure out what value you bring, how much you'd like to be paid per hour, and all that stuff. I don't really want to go into how much I make online because that's just it's very personal. Are you using blueprints? Yes, I'm only using blueprints for my projects, but if I need to use C++, I can use C++. Oh gosh, I get asked this again. I got asked that before, why I don't use C++. It's just a personal preference. I really enjoy using blueprints. Okay, so what you're seeing here are the assets that we have to work with. And I've used these before, a long time ago actually. I used it for a VR prototype. So if you go on my channel, you can actually find the very first VR prototype I ever made. And I use these assets. So I have a memory of these. These are very cool. I like these quite a lot. So let's get creative and make some type of basic layout and build upon it. We're going to go back to our maps and game level. Okay, we're going to get rid of everything that exists. And then we're going to get rid of the floating rocks and also some of the plants. We're going to fix up the folder structure really quickly. So let's call this enemies or AI. So when you're making your levels, it's really important to have a good hierarchy structure, or else you can get a bit confused within where your environment assets are. You don't want everything open, like mixed together is what I'm saying. We're also gonna make one for atmosphere. So let me chuck this into here. And light mass volume, lighting, post-processing. I'm just gonna chuck into lighting for now. And now we have a clean setup. We're also gonna get rid of this lighting. Where's that one? Get rid of that. And I'll move these much closer. Okay. I also want to start this at the center of the map. So let's go back to the center. Let me read some of these questions. Being released over 10 VR games on Steam, I feel very optimistic about the state of VR. I think it's growing. I really love what Sony are doing for PlayStation VR. I think they're doing such a great job in supporting it. I'm going to get rid of the atmospheric fog. Oh, whoops, sorry. I'm going to get rid of the exponential fog for now. I also don't have a sky sphere, which is very weird. So let me get that back into the level. Sky sphere. Is that on default value? Let me get rid of the... That is weird. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. I think we're all good. Light mass importance volume. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to get rid of post-processing because we don't want it. And for the AI, I'm just going to bring this back to 0, 0. Okay, so essentially we have a clean slate to work from, which is great. Oh gosh, a lot of questions. Let me answer some of these. Do you think Unity is still a viable engine for development of large-scale games? Of course it is. There are many games coming from Unity that are large in scale. Now, I'm not at AAA level. I think there's a reason why AAA developers turn towards Unreal, but Unity has been used for very high tier indie games, like extremely well crafted and skilled indie games. So I think you should use whichever engine you're most comfortable with and make it work. C++ is hard as hell. Yes, it is. Oh, of course. You can mention any title here. I think it's great if you all promote your work and help each other out. I think it's great. So feel free to, put a Steam link and everyone can check it out. It's great. Oh, good night, Game Dev Project. Have a good sleep. I agree with PSVR, but I had a lot of issues publishing. See, motion sickness rules are very interesting to me because they released Farpoint, which is a first-person locomotion game. They've also recently released a game which is similar to Rainbow Six Siege, and they have Astrobot, which moves the camera forward. So I'm not sure when you applied, Landon, but they might be a bit more relaxed about it now that more games have been proven, but I could be wrong. You could have applied like last week, and maybe they are still strict. Noki. Ah, thank you. That's really nice of you to say. I am not playing I can't say it. Sicario right now because I just haven't had the time to pick it up. Do you experience motion sickness? No. I mean, everyone does to some extent, I believe. Like if you put me on something that really span heaps in VR, I probably would. But generally, I'm pretty good with motion sickness. Alright, let's get into some levels. Let me just have some water. Okay. The Cabin VR escape room. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Okay, so what I want to do is lay out the general big objects. Noki, question ignored. What was your question, Noki? Did I miss it? Oh, do you think at some point you could make a series tutorial blueprints? I have something in the works, but it's not related to YouTube. So I don't want to talk about it because I want to just make the thing and then talk about it rather than talk about it and then people are like, where's this thing you talked about? So Noki, if you just wait a little bit of time, there might be something similar-ish. Nitrogen. No. It isn't a Udemy thing. But good try. I did say no tutorials, but this is a bit different. But yeah, it's something I'm heavily invested in, but I can't talk about it much because, as I said, I want to get it done and share it and not hype it up or talk about it too much. I just want to make the thing, make it the best I can, and then see what people think, if that makes sense. Okay, let's continue. So we need to figure out which ground tiles we want to use. So we got some floor. Nope, that's not it. Got some wood planks. These don't look like the floor tiles I saw before. Maybe I'm not looking at them properly. Is it called ground or floor? Okay, these must be it. They're quite small, aren't they? Okay, there's way more floors. Where are these located? Yeah, that's better. Okay, there's a lot more floor. Let me just find where these are located. Planes, floors. Okay, great. While we're at it with Udemy and all, what do you think of it? I've never purchased a course online, just because I've never really had a reason to. I prefer to learn things by my own and use resources when I want to use them. But for some people, a curriculum is a much better fit, right? Like a structured curriculum where you learn with somebody. So yeah, I can't really speak too much on courses just because I'm not the type of person to take a course, if that makes sense. That's probably a really boring answer. You're probably expecting something like, oh, I think this about courses. Some really great answer. But that's my honest answer. Okay, so that's some of the floor. What else we got? We got that. We got some cool stairs, which would be fun to use. What else do we have? Bridge. Crumbled stuff. I'm looking for big objects that we can use. Oh, that's nice. It's got that dirt patch in the middle. Okay, let's make a very basic space for playing and then work on it from there. So my goal right now is, oh, they're really, are these assets meant to be snapped with 10? Because I don't really like how these kind of snap together. Let me try 10. That is odd. No. Unless these aren't designed to snap together. They can, but that's really frustrating to use them like that. Let me see what other floors we have really quickly. Oh, this is great. Okay. Yep. I think these are the ones we should be using. Let's put these down. The playlist is Zelda and Chill, I think it's called. So yeah. Do you think unique art is enough to sell my games? I think it's a selling point, but once you have the player there with your unique art, what keeps them engaged with the game, right? Like, what type of gameplay or experience are you delivering? So the art might draw people in, like it draws people in with, say, Journey, but once they're drawn into the, once they're drawn in, why should they play? What experience are you delivering that's unique? So I think art is part of it, but I think the experience is as well. And you have to figure out how your experience is compelling for players when it comes to a commercial product. Hope that makes sense. Do these not have collision on them? Let's just test it out. Okay, that's why. Cool. So what I want to figure out is, how big should our play space be? So I want to get a feel for it just by playing it, by running around, seeing if I have enough room to kind of move, if there's enough room for the enemy to be able to even launch their special attack, which there isn't. So let's make it a bit bigger. I'm not trying to be super perfect with everything right now. I'm just laying a flat space, and then I'm going to lay in walls, and I'm going to keep on layering detail until I'm happy with how it all works. Huh, that's interesting. The spikes didn't come up for some reason. I wonder why. Oh, I know why. Give me one moment. So earlier we programmed this spike attack, and I just got to change it. So let me go into the behavior tree. I called it BT. Buka. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. Cringy, thank you for that comment. That's really nice of you to say. Now. Montage? Oh, okay. Yeah. So I've got to go into the bear. And I've got to go to the animation class. And I've just got to change one thing. I've got to make this spawn transform, I believe, 0. Or minus 110. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Do you normally build scenes in UE4? I like to build scenes in engine. Oh, there we go. The pillars. Perfect. So I build all my scenes in engine, but you know, for my own games, whoa, I got knocked off. Okay. But then I use Blender to make unique assets in combination with Substance Painter and Designer. How do you make your scenes with so much light? Just got a skylight. And see this? So you're at your skylight, right? And you set it to stationary, and it lights up the scene a lot more. And then of course I've got the sun as well. So let's say that I've got the sun at 0. Well, it's not doing anything. So the skylight adds this kind of nice lighting here, and then the sun adds even more light on top. So that's kind of how you get that look, if you're wondering. Will this go online? Yes, the video will go online. Have you ever tried creating really low poly games? I've created low poly before. It's quite fun. I did it for a game jam. It's called Guardian of Time. If you go on itch.io or my YouTube channel, well, you can see Guardian of Time on there. Let's go down, run these. Okay, cool. So I like this kind of play space. I'm gonna make it, how do you full screen the game window? Oh, just F11. I'm going to add a bit more in terms of the width. So let me just see how that feels. Thanks for linking that, Cringy Cookie. So I'm just gonna run around. Yeah, that's a good, whoops. I like this space. I gotta fix that later. Cool. So, now that we have a decent kind of space to work around, we need to put some walls up. So we'll put some walls up. Now this is the floors, so we need to go into planes. And let's see what we have. Let's go type in wall. Hey Mewbits, good morning. So we've got that wall, and we've got these. Okay. If in my Let's Create, I actually did use these at one point, these walls, because I recognized them. In terms of making the environment look more unique, it's gonna look really boring to start off with. The unique element will come later once I like how it works for gameplay, because I want to add some sections of the map where you go up the stairs. But for now, I just need to make the map actually work. Boss name, please make a poll for it. Oh yeah, feel free to drop boss names in the live chat so I can look at them after I finish the live chat. Sorry, the live stream. Okay, so we're just gonna get some generic walls going around. And this is gonna define the bounds of the play space. Cool. Let's get some more going. So usually you do this with simple block. Yeah, usually you do this with simple blocks, like you'd block it out. But because we have these assets in a few days, we're just going to use these completed assets. Okay, so now we've got walls. Let's see how this feels. Oh no. Cool. I've got to fix that. Hold on. It's driving me crazy. It's on the pillars. There we go. I'm just going to change the launch amount to... Oh, it didn't save. Okay, 250. Alright. Yeah, this is a good amount of space. To fight the boss. Cool. So in terms of making the space a bit more interesting, it's nice to have, if you look at the space now, we want to think of it in really simple ways. So we've got this layout. What's a very simple way to make this more interesting? Well, we can add some height to the level, because currently it's flat. So what happens when we add some height? We don't want to get into the small shapes. We just want to get into the larger shapes, like the walls and the floor and these stairs. We don't want to worry about we don't want to worry about very small props like extra bricks on the ground. We want to focus on these shapes we have here. So we're going to grab something like this. I like this one. Yeah, something like this for now. Let's put that down. I'm going to change this to 5. This isn't where I'm going to make the final location of this. I'm just testing out how I feel about this type of object being in the level. Basically, it's all experimenting and playing around and having fun. And making sure the bear can like get up here. Boom. Cool. So what can we do with this? I'm gonna put these over here. I want to make something really interesting in the center. And I think I know what asset I want to use. It's a VR AR game you're serious. There's 2 games I'm quite serious about. One of them is for a company I'm working with, and the other is a VR game that I've been posting on the channel, which has changed a little bit since you've seen it. Did you get I'm not famous, like, but there's nothing really behind it, Cringy Cookie. I simply decided to post videos one day and people like them for some reason. I don't have exact science behind it or analytics that I've really dug into. I've tried to just never really get too involved in caring about how to amass a mass amount of subscribers, because I posted stuff because I enjoyed posting it and sharing it with people and resonated with people. I have no idea why people decided to watch. Let's see. What do we have that's fun? So I like these pillars. They're quite nice. We've got these castle door pieces. We've also got this fountain. Now I'm not sure if it comes with water. but I think I have some water we can use. So, you know, we could have some big fountain feature. I like these. I like the idea of being able to go up a surface. So the play is going to start over here. I might use these. Just roughly there. So that's interesting. How do I want to go about using this? I wish there was a cylinder ground that I could use, because that would be really fun. I've also got to keep in mind that the bear has to get through. So like, I can get through this, but the bear can't. So it doesn't really work. How is your scaling / positioning arrows are in the edge of an asset instead of center? Oh, it's the pivot point, and the pivot point is determined in the 3D modeling software. So if you go into, say, Blender or Maya or 3ds Max, the pivot point is determined there. Have I missed something, or is there no nav mesh? There's a nav mesh, if you have a look here. It's just in the AI folder. When you have an asset floating in the air, you can press N to snap it directly down. Oh, that's cool. I started watching because you had videos about quick asset production. Yeah, I'd probably be talking about dev pipelines in my in one of my upcoming VR devlogs Mubits, because I have these new pipelines I've been using, which have been really fantastic. Oh, we got some short walls, so that's quite fun. Do we have a tower? We do. Okay. We also have these. Oh, that's nice. What is this? This is kind of a ruined building, but I think it's meant to be used at a distance. It's not meant to be used up close. And that's kind of like a pillar. Sorry for stealing all the questions. Oh no, it's really good. It's really great to have questions. Once again, the live stream is, you know, it's a mix of me actually working, and it's a mix of me just answering questions. So unfortunately, I just realized I've been live streaming for 2 hours and 13 minutes. So I think I gotta head off. I didn't realize the time. The main reason I have to head off is because I use my mobile data for these live streams. And if I'm not smart about it, I won't have enough data left. So what I'm gonna do for the next live stream is we'll be finishing off the game, and in between Thursday and now, I'm gonna be adding in some features. But in general, I'm really happy with what we achieved today with this new ability. And yeah. Thank you all so much for checking it out and talking to me and giving your feedback, and you know, your questions are really fun to answer. And hopefully we'll be adding in all the polish. When is the next live stream? Thursday. So Thursday at, I believe, 9 is the time I want to do it. And these live streams are in Australian time, which is like, is it AE? Let me just Google that really quickly. Australian time. Yeah. And yes, I'm going to post these live streams later. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you in the next live stream, or the next video.